Around 66 million years ago, an asteroid struck Earth, triggering the KPG mass extinction event. This catastrophe wiped out the non-avian dinosaurs and ended the age of reptiles. In the aftermath of this global disaster, small, furry mammalian ancestors began to emerge, eventually flourishing and taking the place of dinosaurs as the dominant land animals. This marked the dawn of the age of mammals, which continues to this day, eventually leading to the emergence of humans. However, there remains a puzzle at the heart of this evolutionary shift. Why did mammals, rather than the surviving reptiles, become the dominant creatures after the extinction event? Why didn't other reptile species that survived the extinction take over the planet's megafauna niches? Why didn't the world enter a second age of reptiles after the dinosaurs vanished? It turns out that there's a surprising theory that some scientists believe could explain why mammals emerged victorious: a global explosion of fungi. It's easy to think that life's evolutionary path was predestined, that mammals rose to prominence simply because it was their time to shine, owing to their intelligence, adaptability, and resilience. However, evolution is not a straightforward process. Many times, events happen for reasons that aren't necessarily inevitable or expected. Sometimes, uncovering these reasons requires creative hypotheses, linking ideas that had never been connected before. One such hypothesis, called the Fungal Infection Mammalian Selection hypothesis, FIMS, suggests that the explosion of fungi after the KPG event may have been a key factor that allowed mammals to take the lead. So, how does the FIMS theory work? How could fungi, of all things, have contributed to mammal success? To answer that, we have to begin with the catastrophic aftermath of the asteroid impact. When the asteroid struck, it hurled massive amounts of dust and debris into the atmosphere, blocking out the sun and creating a prolonged impact winter that lasted years, possibly decades. Without sunlight, plants withered, and the food chains that relied on them collapsed. Any large reptiles that survived the initial disaster, including the shockwaves, firestorms, and tsunamis, were soon wiped out by the ensuing ecological collapse. Most large land animals over 25 kilograms perished, and more than 75% of species went extinct. However, the aftermath wasn't necessarily bad news for fungi, which thrive in dark, cool environments and don't require sunlight to survive. Fungi, as decomposers, love to feast on dead matter, and the devastation of the KPG event created an unprecedented buffet of plants and animals to break down. In fact, the fungal spike in the fossil record from this period is a clear indicator of a massive fungal bloom following the extinction event. Although the fungal bloom and the mammalian radiation were typically seen as separate events, one expert in fungal immunology proposed in 2005 that these two phenomena might be directly linked. This idea rests on the fact that reptiles have much higher vulnerability to fungal infections compared to mammals. Cold-blooded reptiles are more susceptible to fungal pathogens, which struggle to survive in the warm bodies of mammals and birds. After the asteroid strike, the air was thick with fungal spores, many of which were pathogenic. This posed a significant threat to reptiles and their eggs but had far less of an impact on mammals, whose higher body temperature made them less susceptible to